El Ecuador puede tener minería de clase mundial. Eso lo vamos a descubrir en unos pocos segundos. Gracias por acompañarnos en una nueva edición de Pulso Minero.
Anécdotas, voces y minería responsable. Pulso Minero, explorando los desafíos e historias que construyen un futuro sostenible.
Este es un verdadero honor. It's an honor to have you here in our set, Ron. Nos acompaña Ron Hochstein, CEO y presidente de Lundin Gold, operadora de la primera mina a gran escala de oro del país, Fruta del Norte. Ron, you have landed here around 10 years ago, but it was a gamble. There was no large-scale mining in production. There were some bad precedents. And even though you and Lundin Gold bet for this country, why?
It's a great question. I can remember, Mariela, when we were out trying to raise money, when we were saying we're going to Ecuador for Fruta del Norte. And so many investors did not invest and said, you guys are crazy to be investing in Ecuador. But Lucas had that commitment. And what really drove it was his short time here and first of all, the asset. Fruta del Norte is an amazing deposit. It's one of the richest gold mines in the world in operation today. The exploration potential we're seeing there is significant. You know, we're looking now for being in this area of Ecuador for generations, not just for years.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great asset. And the thing that the Lundins have is that gut feel that now's the right time. And it was the people, there's so many factors that just led to, it was really the Lundin family who put a significant part of their wealth at that time into this investment. And at the same time, I think that helped us because people then realized this was a family now that's investing, and this is a family that this isn't a large corporation like a Kinross or a Barrick or Newmont. This is a small company that believes in this country. And then I think the other part that really helped was when Lucas said, okay, Ron, you're moving to Ecuador. And, we were committed. It showed to the government and to all stakeholders that we were committed to this country. Mm-hmm. And it was the best decision of mine. I didn't make the decision. Lucas made the decision for me. But it was the best decision of my life because I've absolutely loved this country. I speak about Ecuador every time I go anywhere to talk about from a tourism, from the food. There's so much to see. And then putting my professional hat on, the geological potential of this country is immense. Mm. And I see Ecuador as probably one of the most untapped potential mining jurisdictions in the world today. Mm. Tremendous opportunity.
But to develop that opportunity, I think we need like a mix of hope, of braveness, of vision, and someone that execute that vision. That person was you.
It was.
Am I right?
Yeah. It was. Well, I had someone behind me all the time through this whole thing with Lucas Lundin. We have a saying that's around many of our things that we have up at work, a saying that Lucas said, which is, love your job and you can always do better. Hmm. And I have that cheerleader behind me always saying, okay, we can do this. And the team that we built around us, people like Dave DeCare, Nathan Monash, Doug Moore, and then the team that we grow, the people we have today, like Juan Jose, and the several people at site, I've seen those people grow within these jobs, and we have such an amazing team.
It's part of the vision, I think.
It is you're right. It is that vision and that commitment to responsible mining. And I think too, it's a part of the passion of the Ecuadorian people too, to want to continue to always do better and show that we can really make something happen in our country. And I think that it's felt by everyone that's toured site and everything, is this passion and this vision, opportunity. And now we have to continue this in Ecuador.
Now, Fruta del Norte is a wonderful mine that is producing around 1.5 billion per year. Now the story seems so happy, but the next step, the first steps, should be very challenging, right?
Yeah, the next steps are our exploration's going very well, so we're identifying the potential for new deposits. I think the one thing, Maria, that I'm a bit disappointed is that, we saw Mirador, we saw Fruta del Norte. We don't see a lot of new projects that have moved forward and that are, in production. Maybe Cangrejos might move to production. And Sol Gold will take a little bit of time. But there's so much opportunity here in Ecuador, and that's the one disappointment I think I have, is that this industry isn't a little bit more further along. But I see that there's the seeds to make that tree grow and to see this industry really grow.
And you are demonstrating that responsible mining, world-class mining is possible in the country.
Absolutely. And, I think it's possible, and it's critical to the success of mining, because responsible mining really that shows the impacts in local economies, creating jobs, creating local, businesses have started up in Los Encuentros and Yansatsa that weren't there 10 years ago, and now are thriving businesses, not only just providing services to Fruta del Norte, to Lundin Gold, but to other companies, and even doing business outside of the canton or the province. There's so many opportunities. We're seeing, young students coming from universities now that are working for us, but are working at Sol Gold and others, looking for more opportunities. There's so many things that can be done, and the key is responsible mining.
Let's talk about numbers. In these 10 years, Lundin Gold has invested more than $1 billion here in the country. You pay more than 500 million in taxes and royalties. That's huge numbers, of course. But there are other numbers that talks about how life can be changed by a responsible mining.
Yeah, those numbers are great, and quite frankly, those numbers are going to grow even more so with rising gold prices and just everything. But the numbers I think that we at Lundin Gold are most proud of, those are great, but what we're most proud of is the fact that the poverty level in Zamora-Chinchipe, when we came here 10 years ago, Zamora-Chinchipe was, out of the 24 provinces, 23, so second highest level of poverty in the province. Now it's in the top 10. The level of poverty is reduced significantly. Zamora-Chinchipe, Yansatsa, the small town, is now one of the most dynamic cantons in the country. 50% of our employees are from Zamora-Chinchipe. And Zamora-Chinchipe now has, I believe, the second highest average monthly salary in the country.
And those numbers talk about how concrete people have changed their lives. I have the chance and the opportunity to talk with so many women. When I talk with those women and I ask them, what if you don't have this opportunity? Many of them said, oh, maybe I would migrate somehow, illegally, of course, to some other country. Maybe I would be cleaning bathrooms or those very vulnerable circumstances. So you have changed lives with your leadership. You demonstrate with your work and, of course, with the support of your team that this country could have a better future, could decrease the social gaps. Poverty is not a predestination. Poverty is something that could be handled with good opportunities like mining. You demonstrate that.
It is truly. I remember one of the things Lucas said to the ministers at the time in our very first meeting, because they said, well, oil mining, it's the same, it's natural resources. And Lucas said, no, mining is very different in that, yes, mining will generate taxes and exports and all those types of numbers, but mining has a much bigger impact on local economies than oil and gas. And I think Fruta del Norte, Lundin Gold is showing the government and government at a national level, local level, throughout, all stakeholders, what that potential could be. And what's really exciting is, our mine life at Fruta del Norte, when we did the feasibility study, was 12 years. It's still 12 years, 10 years later. And with our exploration efforts, I think this will be impacting people's lives for generations. Not just transforming people's lives today, but transforming potentially generations within that area. And yeah, it's very humbling, but it's so neat when I see people that there's people that were original employees from Kinross who are still work with us today. And to see how their lives have changed is very humbling. And I met a young lady who was going to high school in Zaruma, and all of our construction equipment went through that town. And she was like, "What's all this about?" She started to look into it, and she decided to go into geology. She graduated. Andre, our VP of exploration, hired her. He told me actually he's one of the best young geologists he's ever hired in his career.
Wonderful.
And she's now she's been promoted a few times. And, and Jesse, from Yansatsa, geotechnical engineer, started with us. And now she's married, living here in Quito now, but, and continues, she's I think gone promoted 2 or 3 times. And she's a key part of our geotechnical team. These are people that were local.
A better Ecuador is possible. There are huge opportunities, and we have, as society, we have to take those opportunities for the good. Your professional career is going to take you away. Now you're going to leave the country, start in another country, another mining project. Of course, we hope the best for you. What do you keep from Ecuador in your heart?
Well, thank you very much for the good wishes. And my heart's full of fond memories of Ecuador, people. And yeah, Ecuador is always going to be in my heart. And the one thing I could say, if I could say anything to the members of the chamber and everything, is stay together, stay focused. Focus on responsible mining and working together, because through the chamber's done such an amazing job and grown so much over these 10 years. And to continue to work through the chamber and work together to do things, because that's how this industry is going to grow and survive. There's part of me who's always going to be here in Ecuador, even though I'll be working now in Argentina. But Ecuador is part of my life and will continue to be for the rest of my life.
Thank you, Ron, for taking your time to have this conversation. This is a tough week for you, so we appreciate a lot. We as industry, we as chamber, we as country, we are very grateful for what you have done, and we are absolutely sure that your legacy will stay with the next generation, Juan Jose, Joanna, Elizabeth, Maria Cristina, and your amazing team. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
all the best for you.
Thank you very much.
Ron Hochstein se despide de Lundin Gold, se despide del Ecuador, no sin antes haber dejado un legado profundo en el país, en la industria, en la Cámara. Esta es una conversación fundamental, no solamente para conocer quién es él, sino también para conocer hacia dónde debería apuntar la industria minera en el Ecuador. Gracias por habernos acompañado.